And good morning. Jeff Dismukes is the longtime communications director at the Department of Mental Health Substance Abuse Services. Fist bumps get people in trouble these days, but good to have you on. All right. So let's talk about 988. Lots of stories about it. You've been talking about this for months that it was coming. Right. So let's start with what it is.
Well, 988 is a 3-digit crisis line for anybody needing to access behavioral health services. It takes the place of the old suicide prevention lifeline that was a 10-digit number. Right. Yeah, 10 digits. Hard to remember when you're in crisis. So 988 is in place for that. And frankly, we're pretty excited about this. Advocates have been asking for this for several years now. And it's finally here. And I am really encouraged about what this is going to mean for Oklahoma. Okay,
so it's phone or text?
Phone or text.
All right, so how do I use a text?
Well, what's going to happen is when you text in there, it's actually the text is being answered on a by the National Lifeline, and it sends messages back and forth, helps link you to the right place. On the phone, though, when you call 988, and that originates from a number here in Oklahoma, those calls are routed to our call center, which is actually located in downtown Oklahoma City. And what's really exciting about this is an expansion of what's been happening in the past. Callers, the call is going to be answered by a specialist, a trained crisis specialist, who's going to be able to take care of the call and link you to the right resources. In some instances, they might even be linking you to mobile care services if that is appropriate. But they're also able to make warm handoffs to providers throughout the state and in your area.
All right, so there's been a lot of great stories about this week, but also from 2016 to I think recently, we've seen under the old system, a lot of calls went unanswered. Millions of calls went unanswered, right? And so the new system is in place. Tell us about the accuracy, what your thought about how it's going to operate.
Well, what's going to happen, and the stories have been out there, I know, but you know, one thing really interesting about that, there was one of the stories in particular that talked about that, but it said that the exception was Arizona and a group called Solari. Solari is who's running the call center here in Oklahoma. That's who we went out to get. Frankly, I'm pretty excited about that. Obviously, they're the best at doing this, so why shouldn't Oklahoma have the best? But it is definitely something that is being looked at nationally. It's something that we monitor here. So far, actually, our calls began being answered here in Oklahoma on the 5th of July. Since that time, we've had 600 calls. 600 calls in that very short time frame, and we haven't heard of any problems yet.
Okay, so you've been talking about behavioral health before it was cool, right?
Yeah,
I mean, back in the old days when people just didn't even believe in it.
Right.
We're seeing, there was a national network, a business network this week, said we're the third worst place of quality of life and health issues in the United States. I don't know about that report, but the fact is it's out there. Your thoughts about where we're at, what we need to be doing? Well,
you know, we talk obviously about access to care, access to mental health and substance use services throughout the state of Oklahoma. And you know what's great is we've been expanding that and really making some headway there, and there are a lot of really exciting things to come. There has been great investment by the legislature, but still there's obviously more that we can do across the state and make sure that Oklahomans are able to access the right services at the right time so that they can be well.
All right, about 45 seconds. Your message to Oklahomans about 988 and where we need to be going in the future.
Well, remember that this is a lifeline for all Oklahomans, no matter where you are. We have the services in place, and 988 in Oklahoma is going to be able to tie back to this expansion of services that we have and get you those right services. It's an easy to remember number. Hopefully it will knock down some of those barriers with people accessing help.
Jeff Dismukes, Communications Director, Oklahoma Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. Y'all got to shorten my name at some point. It's good to have you in.
We're trying. Thanks.
See this again at news9.com/YourVoteCounts and follow me on Twitter @MitchellTalks.